What's up, guys? Today we're tackling one of the juiciest fan theories out there. Could Grant Gustin, the CW's Barry Allen, actually return as the Flash in James Gunn's freshly rebooted DC universe? I mean, the internet practically explodes every time someone breathes the possibility. So, let's break it all down. From the confirmed facts, to the community hopes, to the real barriers, and ask the question, should he come back, and will he? First off, Grant Gustin hasn't been shy about the topic. He was recently asked at Fan Expo Denver, if Gunn asked you to join the DCU, who would you want to play? And without missing a beat, he answered one word: Flash. Not Jay, not Wally, not an obscure villain. Barry Allen, full stop. That followed up reports that he'd only be interested in returning if he could play that exact character. That's pretty definitive. No interest in being someone else, no interest in penny rolls. If he's coming back, he wants the suit. We also have media outlets reporting this, saying Gustin would reprise his role, but only as the Flash, and only for James Gunn's DCU. That aligns with his persona. He's always been clear that he loves playing Barry Allen, and only wants to continue that legacy rather than pivot to a different hero or cameo. But here's where things get complicated. James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU is a broad reset from the previous DCEU era. They've recast Superman with David Corenswet, scrapped Cavill's return, halted Wonder Woman 3, and recast or removed nearly every legacy character they had rights to. Continuity was largely erased in favor of a fresh slate of stories and new character introductions. That reset makes the idea of bringing back a CW-era character feel, at first glance, like a step backward. Gunn has stated he wants to build his storytelling foundation carefully, avoiding heavy fan service cameos until he's laid narrative groundwork. From Reddit threads, many fans think it's highly unlikely Gunn will revisit the Arrowverse versions of characters. Gustin lacks movie star quality and has shown no interest, or Gunn isn't into reusing past actors are common opinions. They argue even if he wanted to cameo, Gunn might prefer casting fresh talent to signal a clean break. Some fans have proposed Gustin could appear as a different speedster, like Jay Garrett, or even a villain in the Rogues Gallery. But according to Gustin himself, he only wants to play Barry Allen. So if the studio is starting fresh and Gunn probably doesn't want Arrowverse baggage, what would justify bringing Gustin in? Here's where the good angle comes in, and it's compelling. Fans have loved Gustin's Flash for nearly a decade, with emotional arcs through Reverse Flash, Zoom, Savitar, Flashpoint, team dynamics with Iris, Cisco, Caitlin, and Wells variants. That is emotional engagement and character investment, something Gunn's DCU badly needs as a bridge between old and new. Gustin is arguably the most developed live-action Barry Allen. If marketed and introduced smartly, his presence signals legacy and gives longtime fans reason to follow the new DC era. Even Reddit fans who criticize him still admit Grant could handle the big screen, and some propose legit pitches, like a multiverse cameo where Wally West, new casting, enters the Speed Force and meets Gustin's Barry, or Gustin appearing as an older mentor in a Flash 2 film. So while many doubt it, they don't call the concept impossible. They're imagining creative narrative uses beyond a straight cameo. From Gunn's perspective, any return has to fit the theme of his Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, a young, inexperienced Superman, world reshuffled, legacy villain threats, cosmic tones. If Gustin shows up, it shouldn't just be fan service. It needs to serve plot, emotional weight, or multiverse stakes. Say he helps rescue Superman from dimensional collapse, or saves the day when Ultraman emerges. That gives him purpose beyond nostalgia. But there are downsides. 1. Age and casting mismatch. Grant Gustin is now in his early 30s, and many theories suggest DCU's Flash will be Jag West or a younger Barry Allen. Reddit even points out he might be too old to play father of an adult hero, so he could be recast or misfit visually for main Flash role. Also, Gunn might avoid casting TV actors in major blockbuster roles to maintain cinematic prestige, though fandom loyalty doesn't always align with studio decisions. Another con. Watched the CW Flash? Tired the audience? Some fans say a short cameo would be the limit. Anything more could feel stale or repetitive. Others fear he'd overshadow new casting. And if the role of Flash in DCU is intended as Wally West, not Barry Allen, he may be perpetually irrelevant. Still, The actor's enthusiasm remains. He said he'd only take the role if Gunn asked, meaning he's open, but not seeking it actively. That leaves the ball in DC's court. If Gunn wants to pay tribute to the Arrowverse in a meaningful way, without derailing the reset, Gustin's cameo narrative could follow this structure. Mid-credit teaser after Superman, Flash speeds in to warn about dimensional collapse. Fast cut, or a Justice League cameo defending against Lex's dimension tech. Maybe as mentor during a Lantern or Flash film. That hooks fans but keeps the storyline focused on DCU's emerging actors. At Reddit, fans suggested that if he can't return as Barry, maybe he could portray Jay Garrick in flashback or cross-Earth scenes. But Gustin himself nixed playing anything besides Barry Allen. So flexibility is limited. Not many other roles he'd accept. If DC wants to keep him, they'd really have to lean into multiverse storytelling, like Barry Allen from Earth CW stepping into Earth Gun to help stabilize things. But that raises the question, does the new DCU even allow multiverse cameos? Gunn's been cagey. He said continuity will be more focused, less chaotic crosses. Fan service may come later, if at all. So here's my breakdown. The chances are low to moderate. The official position is neutral. Gustin is open, but DC hasn't invited. Chance increases if Gunn wants to acknowledge Arrowverse legacy. But they may choose fresh direction instead. The pros include fan goodwill, emotional continuity, and narrative flexibility. The cons include mismatched casting, potential fan backlash, and tonal inconsistency with DCU reset. If I had to guess, we'll maybe see Gustin in a cameo mid to post-credit of Superman or a Justice League sequel. Enough to excite fans, but not disrupt the cast. Maybe they'll build him into a future spin-off or animated cameo. They want fans on board, but only if he fits the story they're telling. Look at how Lex's pocket dimension in Superman movie ended. It set up reality breaches. That's perfect for introducing a speedster from another Earth. It's smart storytelling if done right, but only if Gunn wants Barry Allen specifically. If Wally is the primary Flash going forward, Gustin's flashback or mentor role might still work. But again, only if he wants one. Ultimately, if Gustin shows up as the Flash in DCU, I'll cheer. He has heart, audience trust, and a deep emotional backstory. But it's not guaranteed, and DC has more interest in building fresh faces. The ball is in Gunn's court. So fans, keep the petition alive, keep sharing videos like this, but temper your hype unless an official casting drops. Thanks for hanging through this mega breakdown. Let me know in the comments. Would you accept Grant Gustin's return? Role it should be? Dream cameo? I've got more video ideas lined up if DC ever drops the news. You know I'll migrate faster than Barry Allen himself. Hit subscribe for more deep dives, rumor analysis, and nerd-fueled predictions. See you in the Speed Force.